Okay.
Good morning, everyone. This is Father Stephen from St. Thursday's Orthodox Church in Stalham. Today, the reading from the early fathers was an extract from St. Athanasius's treatise called On the Incarnation of Christ, and he was bishop in Alexandria in the 4th century, a great leader of the church and defender of Orthodox Christianity. And the extract today emphasised the fact that we should not fear death, because our Lord Jesus Christ, as the eternal Son of God, took upon himself our human nature and experienced death upon the cross and the resurrection. And it's a fundamental part of our Orthodox Christianity, as explained by St. Athanasius, that our physical death as human beings was not a part of the original divine plan for humanity. Death came as a result of the disobedience of Adam and Eve in the beginning. And so, with the coming of our Lord, to reverse that disobedience is the very important aspect of our Orthodox Christian belief. So, in Orthodoxy, we do not speak of death. We talk about falling asleep in the Lord. And when we consider what the non-Orthodox people talk about people's death, the death of Our Lady, for example, which we commemorate on the 15th of August, we do not call it the death. In the Roman Church they call it the Assumption, but in Orthodoxy we call that event the dormition, or falling asleep. So another aspect of our Lord's teaching in the Gospel is that everyone will rise again and face judgment when he comes again in glory. So we should take note of the fact that although the media talk about people's death, and it's in common parlance that people talk about people's death and so dying, in our Orthodox way of life, we talk about people falling asleep in the Lord, and our immortal souls continue after the separation of our bodies from our souls. And so we need to rejoice in the fact that we have no fear of death. We fall asleep in the Lord and repose with him in paradise until his second coming, and then we rise again to judgment. This is our Orthodox Christian belief. It comes from the explicit teaching of our Lord in the Gospel, and if it is not true, it makes our Lord Jesus a liar, and that cannot be. So we hold fast this faith and do what we can to teach it to everyone who is willing to listen. The fact is, sadly, that some Christian bodies are not very good at teaching the faith, but we are trying to do our bit to correct that. Yeah.